Good evening. Good evening, good evening. I'm still Blue Moony, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. So, how is everyone right now? Hale and healthy, getting things done, doing interesting things, leading interesting lives. I hope so. I do. So, yesterday went an awful lot better than I thought it was going to go. Oh dear, we have a lovely new character who I think I'm going to like very much. I think this character is going to be very, very useful in giving us a bit more subplot, a bit more to play with, especially in the first half or so of the story, because everything was very, very main plot focused. There wasn't sort of anything going on around it, so I think this could give us some interesting things to do. And after that arc is mostly wrapped up, it can't be completely wrapped up, I think, till the end, but after it's mostly wrapped up, I think this character will play an important role throughout the rest of the story too. Which is interesting, considering this character has very low fate. But given Min is our protagonist, one of our protagonists, and she has absolutely zilch fate, I don't think it's a problem. On another note, my cough only seems to be getting worse. My lungs are unhappy with me. So there'll be a fair amount of muting to cough. Here is a demonstration. There we go. But again, given the cough remains, I think I'll try to reach par tonight and then stop. I know that's exactly what I said yesterday, and I've probably said many times, and I still wind up going till 2,000 words or so. But I was trying to get something done. I was on a little bit of a roll yesterday. I was feeling pretty good about writing, and whenever that happens, it is very hard to stop. You want to cling on to that feeling as long as you can, really. But in other news, I finally generated a list of names. After stream last night, I opened up the software I used to create languages as best as I can, and used the place name, given name generator over and over and over and over again until I generated enough viable-ish names. I haven't picked one for this new character yet. Perhaps I should do that before we actually start writing. More new and exciting ways to procrastinate. But this character does need a name. Also, excuse me, sorry. Also, I may have changed the hunter's name again. So, yes, it's probably good that I've been mostly referring to the hunter as the hunter, and not by the various names she's gone through. First Lalaye, and then Nico. At the moment, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly according to the language, but at the moment she's Diana, because the name Diana popped up in the name generation process, and Diana, I believe, is the Roman goddess of the hunt. And so that just seemed incredibly appropriate, so Diana shall probably stay. We may think of a briefer nickname for people close to her to use, or people close to her, being one person, probably her guardian, and possibly people she's not such a fan of might enjoy using the nickname to get a rise out of her. But Diana, maybe something like Dee Dee, for a silly nickname. But Diana, I think, will work quite well for her. We'll go through the list of names in just a moment, and I will, probably butcher them all. It feels a little strange talking about butchering names from my own story, but given it's a language that was generated from parameters that I entered, does not mean I'm hugely familiar with the ways things are supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, let us have a hop, skip, and a cute little jump over to our stats, just to remind us where we're at. Here we go. So, 60% of the way to 50,000 words. Remembering how I write. Messy. Minus grammar. Except lots of semicolons linking paragraph stuff together. So that's 29,963 words out of 50,000. We didn't quite reach 30,000 yesterday. Oh dear. So assuming we hit par today, we should remain roughly 3 days ahead, slightly under 3 days ahead. So yes, we are still very much on track, but trying to think of health. Another thing I'm trying to think about more is what streaming and writing starts to look like once November is over. I've mentioned this now and then, but I suppose I'm thinking about it a little more now, given we've passed the halfway point in both words and days now. And I have a fair few number of ideas. I think I was sort of over-optimistic thinking about how much I'll be able to stream regularly after November. I would like to go more days than not a week, but I think I should probably try to restrain myself and start, oh dear, the word I want is eluding me. What is this word? A little, less ambitious. I will be less ambitious, and I'll probably try to get regular streams going 3 days a week for maybe 2 hours or so, and try to be consistent with starting times. Like I'm trying to be consistent at 9:30 p.m. AEDT right now. I don't know if I'll stay at this time. I might have to play around to try to find the time that will most suit me going forward. But yes, lots of ideas. I think I'd like to try to do a writing stream, most likely or most frequently a short story writing stream every week if I can. It doesn't matter if I don't finish a story on that day, but can work on the same story across a few days if I need to. But hopefully as I get better, I'll be able to churn out a story a session, maybe. And I'm still intending the first few to be more editing short stories that I've already written, because I would like to share them on stream before publishing online. I have a few quite short ones. I have a few quite old short stories that I wrote many, many years ago that I wouldn't mind editing on stream as well, and recycling, I suppose. And I'll probably, do that several times until I feel more comfortable writing from scratch. Excuse me, sorry. Until I feel more comfortable writing from scratch. I know I've been writing a novel live, sort of, but I had been doing lots of planning for it. And doing shorts, I would do planning as well. I wouldn't just, you know, here's an idea and just write. I need time to think about things and sculpt things a little bit first. But, you know, if we're going for 2 hours, 45 minutes to an hour of planning, an hour or so to write the thing, because, hoping there wouldn't be more than a few hundred words. Oh, and I suppose then, 15 minutes to edit. We'll see what happens. Oh dear, I don't think I could restrict myself to 15 minutes. I'm a hardcore editor. I almost, eyes almost fell out of my head when I read some writing advice the other day saying, don't take long editing, plan to get through the whole book in 1 to 2 days. I was thinking, how long are your books? And this is from someone, I believe, who writes incredibly quickly, which I do not. So I would have thought if you write incredibly quickly, you'd have to have a much more in-depth editing process. Maybe that's just me, though. Anyway, we had better get a move on. Okay, let us jump away over here. I hope you can see this okay. I might increase the size actually, just in case. Let's go up to size 14, see if that helps. Quite a few names that we already have popped up again. Well, quite a few names. Trouse popped up at least twice again. So it seems it was a good name to pick. Perhaps I should keep in mind that it's actually a fairly common name around here. And yes, don't pay too much attention to the longer ones that I've got, because I'm more intending to use those as surnames. Generally, I think it's most common to have a first name of 1 to 2 syllables, 3 syllables, much more rarely. I suppose it's nice if we give the hunter, Diana, a 3-syllable name, another way to sort of set her apart. Anyway, let's have a look through here. Oh, also this character. I may change my mind throughout. I don't feel it really affects the character very much as a person, honestly. But at the moment, I'm going with female. I'm going with girl, woman, that sort of direction. But again, not set in stone. So yes, Guy works, even though it'll be pronounced slightly differently, I think, because very similar to what we have already. Nib makes me think of like a fairy name, which is very cute. I think I marked a few names that really stood out to me. I kind of like Aloe. I probably wouldn't use it for a main character, but I might just asterisk it as one to remember. I kind of like Quick. Quick could be really cute. Down. Yinsta's cool, but not for Clown Ears, Mabro. Neil. I think a few of these have popped down twice. Yeah, I'll definitely go back and grab from here if I need to. Sabe, I quite like, and Fake It is cute. So I'm thinking about changing the curt sound for Face It, so it sounds a bit like, or at least similarities to Felicity, maybe. Gem is good. Clayco, I thought it looked a little bit like Cecil, but it's all k sounds here. With the C's, was. I think this would be pronounced sort of Blaine, which would be cool. And this kind of Blair-like. But again, I don't think for this new character. Blue might be cute to use. I'll mark it. Not for this character, but just for a character. I kind of like to spare bit like spear. But again, not for this character. What do I want for this character? Oh well, here's Diana. Taken. Seb, I think, is a really, really sweet name. Cleo is kind of cool, as is Abry. But I suppose I have a character in another story called Orbrus. I suppose that's different enough from Abry. Oh dear. This is pronounced Henya. That's kind of tempting. I like that one a lot. Hence the 2 asterisks. Joy would also be cute. I really like a grit, actually. And I was wondering whether to use it for this character's mother, but maybe I could use it for this character. I think it makes me think of, Ingrid a little bit, and I'm a big fan of the name Ingrid. Agrit. Yeah, emphasis, second syllable, agrit. Oh dear. And Jance's nice. Nest is really nice. Yeah, I got asked again. Antra, actually. I think Antra, I might call this character's mother. Maybe. Atsy, Styer. Anyway, there's a lot of names to pull from, which is good, but what should I go with for this character to start with? Probably not Joy. Probably between Henya and Agrit. Wow, just noticing we don't have a main character with a vowel as a starting name. Starting letter, sorry. Don't have a vowel yet. Maybe I'll just go with a grit for now. I mean, for all I know, I'm going to pick one of these names and replace, other friend currently called Lalaya with it. I like the name Lalaya. I can't find a character that it feels like it really belongs to yet, so I might wind up changing the other friend as well. I might just give them both character pages. Why are you doing this? That's not what I want you to do. Please do not do this. Move to trash, please. And you. Move to trash. Excuse me, sorry. I had to sneeze, but it didn't come. That's always disappointing. There we go, that's better. So we'll just call new friend, not Agrit for now. It may change. And this is currently Lalaya, but very subject to change. Oh dear. I don't know. I did quite a bit of thinking about this character today and figuring out sort of the subplot that's going to be going on with her. Yes, well, we know she's got a very low fate level, and her mother is, well, ridiculously high fate. Nowhere near as high as Liot, but one of the highest in the city, because that would be one of the prerequisites to becoming one of the 3 leaders. But I imagine, she and Dad are, doing everything possible to raise Agrit's fate level. A lot of it's probably experimental, and I think Agrit's just had it. And I wrote that, happy to be at school now because some measure of freedom, doesn't have family, all over her anymore. And, technically because she's at school, she can refuse refuse any meetings with family due to being busy and will only attend official ones that are scheduled. Yeah. But yes, I think there's a fair amount of unpleasantness going on with that. And I think Liot and Lalaia kind of find out a bit more than Agrit and her family would want them to know. Yeah, and I think they try to do something about it. So yes, subplot, not just Liot struggling to keep his head above water at school for who knows how many chapters. More stuff to do. This is great. Well, there's going to be more than that. There's the meeting Trouse and everything, but that's still just sort of progress of the one sort of main plot as opposed to any real subplots. So we have a subplot, yay! Oh dear, but I'm going to have to figure out where to slot everything for that, aren't I? Oh, excuse me. Oh, goodness me, I'm sorry. We've been going for almost half an hour and I haven't actually done any words yet. That indeed sounds like me. Okay. Where do we get talking about the gossipy stuff? All of this, none of it's in any real order. It's just got to be all brushed over. I think another important thing that might want to come up here is about the other inner city kids. All the other inner city kids are sort of keeping as a very close group. Also, they're keeping their distance from Liot. You know, wary of him. Well, wary and intimidated. Real attention. Well, you know, they're still getting the same treatment, but you know, it's a much bigger deal with Liot. Well, real attention. Well, maybe that doesn't really work, because they are. The whole idea of being there is that everyone is sort of being, at this point at least, it sort of tapers off when they get older if they're not showing as much promise. But at the moment, everyone's sort of getting a lot of attention, so maybe take that off. It's still not the same amount as Liot, but yeah. And actually I wanted to throw this note here just so I don't forget it. Oh no, as soon as I get here I forget what it was. Give me a moment, sorry. Oh goodness me, the background music's still on. We want rain, don't we? Let's turn this down. Here's the rain. Yay, rain. Okay. Oh yeah, it was after, you know, schedule changes becomes common knowledge what everyone is good at, what level everyone is. Even city kids start being adopted by groups of friends. Oh, hello. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, I have just rambled for about half an hour before actually starting to write any words. I've still hardly done anything. But yes, it's I've been thinking a lot more about the new character that we created yesterday and how she gives us some lovely subplot, which we were somewhat lacking. We were suffering from, main plot only syndrome. But yes, this will give us something else to do besides, the yacht floundering to stay afloat in school. Something else to think about now and then. Okay. But yes, I was just thinking about how after everyone gets their elective subjects and everyone starts to know what they all like and what they're good at, various friendship groups already existing will start to adopt the inner city kids and sort of pull them apart a bit. And I can't spell allegiances. I don't know why I thought I could. There we go. I suppose I'm just trying to drop in as much intrigue as I can, because clearly this is a place where there's, it's just dripping with intrigue and backstabbery and all of that. So they start young. Oh dear, what was the other thought? Oh no, I probably can't take that note now because that is a surprise I don't want to spoil. It's very intriguey, in case you're wondering. Oh dear, and related to this new subplot, so I'm hoping I don't forget it and I'll write it down later. Okay, back to our notes. Where are our notes? I have too many things open. This is a problem. Here are my notes. Chapter 6. There's not very many of them. I probably didn't even need it open. Okay. That was just so I remembered where we were going today. So no need to keep it in front. Okay. So no need to go into any sort of detail with schooling here. Except, I think I wanted to change something small earlier. Not a huge change, just adding a note so I know to make the change. It's on the first day. No, it's on the second day. On the second day. I think I want to change it so his, TK. That his personal training section was actually awful the first time. I want him to have a terrible first week. No real bright points so far as classes and such go. So yes, the next part of this chapter, which is still going to be within the same actual chapter, and the next part we'll be writing, even though we'll keep it in chapter 6, it's probably going to be its own chapter. And that's all the notes I have for it. Okay. Sorry, I know what's going on, I just don't know how to start. Just like yesterday, hopefully we'll be as blessed by inspiration as we were then, but somehow I doubt it. My head is giving me nothing. Sorry, I am just staring at it. Hasn't been this bad for a while. I know what's going on. I know what's about to happen. Okay. Oh, we haven't named the director of their cohort, headmistress equivalent. Oh dear. And I suddenly think a grit is a better name for her. Oh well. We can mess around. Let's just keep it with the director. I keep calling them inner city kids, but technically they're not anymore. New recruits doesn't quite work. Neither does fresh blood, but you can't really say former inner city kids. Somehow I'm liking the term freshly fated. It's a little easier to use. I should probably TK it though, so I can find it if necessary and change it if when I realise that is a terrible term to be using. And children of chosen ones is way too long as well. It's got to be sort of nicknames for each type of kid in the cohort. Technically 3 types: the fresh ones from the inner city, the children of chosen ones, and the inner city kids who were picked up early. And possibly, another term for kids like Liot, they're sort of off the scale with fate. But that's an important thing I'm going to have to come up with names for, because the way I've been going, it's just way too long and clunky. I'll just keep using it for now. No more capitals, please. There probably still needs to be a sort of process of appointing them as an official, chosen one guardian. And probably just one can hold the actual position. Here we can throw a bit of something in. Does that mean that Diana's guardian, because Diana, she wasn't in a city, she was a child of a chosen one. So does that mean Diana's, it wouldn't be a parent, is it her aunt? And the character's, I haven't thought too much about it, but she definitely gives off auntie vibes. That could work. I think that'll work quite well. So I was just thinking we could have new kid character. Or now I think I really want to give Agrit to the director. It just seems to really suit her. Oh dear. Now what am I going to call you? What am I going to call you now? What's some of the other names I really liked? Alright, you're in the world building section, aren't you? Names list. It's suppose I really liked Nest. I was almost wondering whether to call Nue Nest instead, but I really like Nue, honestly. I was wondering about Henya. There's Henya. Oh dear. Miss me, I did like Agrit so much, but it just suits the director so well. Maybe Nest or Henya. I know Nest maybe seems a little soft for her. This character, seems very sort of offhand and open and honest with Liot, and she is, but she is also incredibly defiant. And in classes she's not interested in, just makes no effort whatsoever. And in the ones she is interested in, she still makes out that she's bored, and possibly is, but just does all of the work, knows all the answers, possibly while doing just, does all the work that probably didn't need to. But then, makes a point of just scraping through. Yeah. Maybe go with Henya? Oh, why is this so hard? Names are important, that's why. Names are important. Should we just go with Henya for now? That's right. Hegna, Henya. We'll go with that. Yes, Agrit just works so well for the director. So we can actually use a name. I need one family member she's close with, which I don't think is either parent or either older brother. Maybe one of her mother's cousins, which would be a second cousin. Check out the stink. That'll do. And funny to think about someone chucking up a stink when they're one of the leaders. But then again, not funny at all, really. So yes, Mum has the job. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Morning already. Not good, not good. Maybe first few called out. Maybe first called out during blah blah lecture. They returned looking pretty smug, I guess. First in the city kid called, absolutely terrified. Liot bursting with sympathy. Tried to say something encouraging as she tries to strong by accident or something. Let's just give him Jim again. I still wanted to look a little afraid, but much sort of calmer with, a bit of a glimmer of hope sort of thing. I cannot spell plagued. There we go. I feel like, I was thinking lighthouses, but, better for them would be desert analogies. Desert analogy that I can't think of right now. Maybe they can overhear some talk at lunch, and then Henya and Lalaya can sort of explain a bit more about what's going to happen. They've just said, meeting support teams, but I don't think there's been much more said. I suppose I can just wait until Liot's meeting as well to Yeah, I don't need to go for too long on all of this. There's a fair amount to get through already. Maybe just, here's some of them talking about their meetings over lunch. We got caught between desperate trying to both ignore and overhear. Not sure which would such others anxiety more. Just before going on stream, I read over the first chapter of my main magical project again. I think it sounds okay. I think I was just in a particularly bad writing place or mood when I read it the other day. Still wasn't perfect, I know nothing can be, but that didn't stop me from trying. But just made a few small alterations. Yeah, well, my writing that's definitely a lot better than my writing now. I don't know, it just seems to flow in a lot more interesting way. Hopefully when I pull this all together it'll sound more like me, but I don't know. Probably shouldn't think about it too much. It's still me writing, I just need to get my style coming through more with this story, I guess. I mean, I suppose something that might set my main magical project apart, or at least, a lot of the beginning of it was that when I wrote it initially, I was just so excited and it just came so easily. I wish I could do that for everything, but that's just not really how it works, I suppose. At least not for me. Wardrobe. Should I go full on reality TV and have a makeover week? That could be fun. Another show for the younger kids. I'll just pop that here as a maybe. Makeover week. The yacht alarmed. What's makeover week? Yeah, I doubt. He never really watched many of the shows himself. I mean, just if he was in the room when Min and Citra or Grans were watching, was sort of in the background. What would he have been doing otherwise? He doesn't really do too much. I mean, besides, housework and cards. I suppose there's a bunch of solo card games he plays. Maybe we can get a bit of Guardian backstory here. Not much, but it's probably not going to come up in the actual meeting because the Guardian's not going to mention it. I've been swapping between Ultimate and Prime Guardian. Guardian? Chosen one. Chosen. It was Trouse before. Trouse was Trouse. How to phrase it in a smart-ass way. Saying nothing about anyone 30 and over about not being young. I will be phrasing it differently. Yes, I think it was noticed that he's not really, leadership material. Maybe not safe to make him a board member and a potential, main leader, whatever I wind up calling them. Oh dear. Maybe, would she go that far? I think she would, and then maybe regret it just a little bit. Should probably need the prompt from Henya though. so we can have him spending, the rest of the week, oh dear, jumping every time someone else is called, mounting anxiety on top of the already, bad situation he's in with school and trying to get settled in there. But yeah, let's be dramatic and make him the last one called. And everyone else called before the last day of school. But they're on Saturday. Maybe he can be called right near the end of classes on Saturday. Eight. Oh dear. I need to sort that up here somewhere. Even just there will work. If it's not there, I'll find somewhere else for it. How are we doing workout-wise? I'm guessing quite poorly. 30,575. 30,575. 30,575. Well, we're up to 61%. That's something. I've done 612 words today. Yeah, not horribly. Where are we now? So yes, currently 2 days ahead. If I can do a bit more, maybe we can get back to 3 days ahead. Let's see. Oh dear, we may be running into a little bit of buffering. Sorry about that if you have any trouble viewing. Oh no, excellent again. Oh dear. Consistency would be nice, as long as it's consistently excellent. Let's have it. The teachers, they are meant to be as supportive and encouraging as possible, but people have different personalities, and I imagine there's plenty of teachers who just teach in their own way and they get results and so they stay. But Maybe the teacher got a bit frustrated aloud with Liot during class and, apologizes for being short, but then asks sort of, how he's going. And if there's, anything he needs to help improve, but Liot doesn't know what he needs. So let's try that. Let's make this one a sort of, canyon-based class. So something like social science, I guess. Suppose I just don't know yet how to get the balance between the constant affirmation and being incredibly demanding of excellence. Possibly some teachers and people away one way or the other. It's probably more of the higher ranked people who are more the pushing excellence and perfection. So possibly we can have a contrast to a teacher who also talks to the yacht. $30,802. Yeah, I know it's barely 200 more words, but my eyes strayed. I have to update. Look here, kids, sort of thing. Not long enough if you're a disaster. Maybe have Henya sort of rescue Liot at one point and Lalaya say, you know, he's just trying to motivate you. Maybe stops from, you know, going on about he's a disaster, whatever, in school to, you know, if you don't toughen up, your cohort's going to make mincemeat out of you, sort of thing. I suppose it seems like a lot to sort of go into this, calling him a disaster, whatnot, when it's just the first week, but, you know, I'd have incredibly high expectations on him, and possibly the teacher just finds him a disappointment. Maybe here Liot can have a small breakdown about the expectations already. Haven't really talked about that much yet. I suppose it hadn't really sunk in. I'm kind of glad Henya's here now, because I'm not sure how Lalaya would be able to deal with a friend breaking down like that, apart from sort of, you know, awkwardly hovering. We can have her do some of that later. Quiet corner. You're on drone swatting duty. I kind of like the idea of Lalaya, you know, being shocked and aghast initially, but then, you know, strangely delighted to be chasing the drones away. Possibly talking very authoritarianly towards them and maybe hoping to get on camera, you know, protecting Liot. Sorry, just knocked the microphone. Oh dear. Yeah, looks like this is going to be a bit of a longer chapter. I suppose it's also possible we can, if we can find a good way to split it. You know, if we could split it somewhere around here. And then that way I don't have to, make the meeting take up an entire chapter. So have to figure out a good way to end the chapter before. Excuse me. Oh dear, how are we going words-wise? 31,073. Update. Okay, 1,110 words today. Oh dear. That sounds stupid, but a thought anyway. I don't like it. Go away. Oh, yo. Need to figure out what her beef is with the other two roommates. It seems like something, you know, anything yacht related they're going to gossip about. And yes, the only one not being called gives them more to talk about. Or maybe they can mention the politician that winds up approaching him later. What was his name? Mars. I don't think they've got any sort of private lessons yet. They'll get a lot more private lessons once they have all of their electives. I probably should have mentioned that. Well, I probably should mention that there's actually probably a fair amount of free time the first week because there's a lot of base to fill, or maybe they just fill that with extra lectures to start with. Either way, I need to mention that somewhere. Put around the schedule. Maybe we can be silly and have the sort of last lesson on Saturday be free time that private tutorials will be in. Talk much about the common area. It's probably just all the area around the dining room and such. I'll try to remember to go into more detail with that. The quad, whatever it is. The cohort. Oh goodness me, I'm so sorry. I might just update my word count. 31402, 31402, 31402. Update progress. Oh dear, we're going to hit pass soon. In which case I probably won't keep going too far past that. We can get more into the meeting tomorrow. But I am just going to very quickly jump away. I'm sorry if you wouldn't mind waiting. Thanks so much. I'll just be a minute. Thank you so much for waiting. We're back now. We'll just try to do a few more 100 words and reach par tonight, and then we might just go to bed and try to get a little extra sleep. Yes, I'm glad we've got this opportunity to mention board member Mars. A little bit of foreshadowing there. Not quite as much foreshadowing as in my main magical project, where it's like every second sentence is foreshadowing something for one of the many, many books down the line. Spell, absolutely. Kind of see them all, sitting on the ground to play the game. Not quite sure how these cards will really work, given it's supposed to be, at the very least, they're based on tarot cards. So there might be different versions of the same card, which can sort of turn it more into a traditional card set to play games along those lines. Maybe. Wondering where the meeting would be. The most logical place would be in Liot's room, but I think his guardian might insist on it being in his rooms, because he's got the power in his rooms. haven't mentioned Henya and Lalaya's meetings. I should probably mention them. Yeah. There's 3 cool first lecture. Maybe have Lalaya really early. Oh, got her. Not can't wait to meet. Not how she couldn't wait, past tense. Let's at least get him to his guardian's rooms. Well, suite, apartment, whatever. I just had the sudden thought that it's, not only the actions of chosen ones that will affect the world, probably also their failure to act could also have a huge impact. I suppose we don't know what combination of those could be. It could be that someone with a really, really, really high fake count, no action they take will ever impact the world, but their failure to act. That's a little sobering, isn't it? Let's just throw that thought down here. This isn't really discussed much. I've forgotten something that I need to mention throughout, and that's we need to, religion is big here, the god of fate and everything. It's huge. So I think I'm going to have to mention church equivalent. And when they go, wait no, that'll be better mention way back here during orientation. Just make it on Sundays for convenience right now. don't really think she'd say embarrassing me, but I'll... We have Leot's reaction to this somewhere. It'll fit, given, you know, this is probably going to be 3 chapters at least. What am I looking for? I'm going to have to change it, but all I can think of is now part of religious law himself. That's right, I hadn't put there. Henyas, or as Henyas would be. At his apartment or at his workplace office? Probably apartment might be more intimidating. I might stop there. I'll figure out how to keep it going tomorrow. How's the word count? 31,739. I don't think I'm going to push any further tonight. So where are we? 31,700. So we are very, very slightly over three days ahead. 3? 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 days ahead. Oh dear. Well, I guess I'd kind of thought I'd get to the end of the meeting today, but I think there was still an awful lot to get through in this chapter first. But how much is here? Oh yeah, I'll probably be splitting here after, various disasters of Liot trying to settle into school. But yeah, all this will be at least 2 chapters. And so what's going to happen in this meeting? I think probably for most of the first part of the meeting, I don't think the Guardian's going to say anything at all. Well, not first part, most of the meeting. Presence just looming over them the whole time. Team can't even lighten the mood. I think they're all sort of affected by him as well. Okay. Possibly Liot will sort of, observe or realise why his meeting's taking place there. The fact that it gives his guardian all the power. I know Min's really the more observant one in that sort of manner, but does Liot realise, or maybe that seems like more something Henya would do actually. Maybe when Henya finds out that his meeting was at his guardian's apartment. She's not impressed. Well, we better picked an arena where he had the high ground sort of thing. It's over, Liot. I have the high ground. That seems a bit more likely, I think. Oh dear. And I'll probably have to have a fair description of his apartment too. Need to make it so the styling of the apartment sort of accentuates this gentleman's demeanour. Why did I use the word accentuates? I know I can't spell it. I cannot spell it. I admitted it. An A? Really? Of course it's an A. Don't be ridiculous, Blue. Of course it's an A. And I've never been able to spell demeanour a day in my life. There we go. It should be easy. De, mean, or. De, mean, or. Demeanour. Not just the apartment, also its location in the city. Probably need to... Oh dear, it's probably too far to really walk. I wonder if they some kind of transport. Could walk. Being sort of apprehensive about the transport because he never would have been on anything like it before. Okay. One last update. It's 72. It's 72. Let's just get my backup saved first anyway. Save. And let's bring us over here. There we are. So we're at 31,872 at the moment, and we did 1,909 words. So, not my most productive day, but I think I will be fine with that. This rate, we'll be finishing on the 25th. Assuming this rate remains. What percentage are we at? 64%. Okay, I think that will definitely do us for tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Oh yes, not quite as productive as I maybe would have liked. It would have been good to get to the end of all of these notes, but tomorrow we should be able to focus on the meeting, and then after that we can jump back to Min, hopefully the day after. And Min will be, confined and confused. Oh dear. So many interrogations and whatnot. Yes, I think the testing sort of begins as well without explaining anything to her. It's no experimentation as such yet, but testing, yes. Oh dear. I was wondering vaguely along the lines of, how I mentioned Henya's parents going to extremes to try to improve her fate, and a lot of them were experimental. I'm wondering whether the researcher who's going to be in charge of Min's case would also be, responsible for cooking up some of those experimental treatments for Henya. And I'm glad I thought a bit more about the balance that I'll need between, total affirmation and encouragement of these kids and the massive amounts of stress and pressure and expectations there are as well. They can exist together. I don't think it's always a case of the constant affirmation and encouragement making things better either. I think they can probably make things worse as well in certain situations. Okay, so you'd think I would be slightly better at ending streams now that I've got the parting glass to sort of end things on, but it's still getting up to that, isn't it? I think I still need a lot of practice. It's good thing we still have half a month of Nano to go. Or I can continue practicing streaming and practicing writing. So yes, I think I've said it several times, even if it takes an incredibly long time for this story to truly be finished. I'm glad I've done this. I don't know how long it might have taken me to finally start streaming if I hadn't thought of this project and went, oh help, Nano's almost here, I've got to get ready right now. And just sort of plunged in. You may not have picked it up, but I don't tend to plunge into things very often. Not like this. So, but I think it was a good thing, in this case at least. I think it's a good thing. Let us open up the lyrics. Or at least spell it right. Parting is not a difficult word for me to spell, one would hope. Yes, apologies in advance again, because the cough. The cough is not friends with singing in the least. But I'll do my best. Thank you again, and wherever you are, good night, good morning, good afternoon. And I hope the rest of your day is absolutely lovely, because that's what you deserve. You do. That's what you deserve. Let's sing this. Of all the money that e'er I had, I have spent it in good company. Oh, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night, and joy be to you all. Until tomorrow.